Hi, good evening everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce Professor Trilochan Shastri and Acharya Prashant ji.
Religion is in danger.
Religion is in danger from the very people who are trying to protect it.
Professor Trilochan Shastri, a renowned academic, reformer, and social entrepreneur. He is the chairman and founder member of the Association of Democratic Reforms, which has played a key role in improving electoral transparency in India. He is also the founder of the Center for Collective Development, a former dean at IIM-Bangalore, also the founder of Farmveda, initiatives that empower farmers. He is also the author of the Essentials of Hinduism, an introduction to all sacred texts.
First of all, many thanks to Dr. Shastri for being here. He was my teacher at IIM Ahmedabad. It's a very unique privilege. People are saying you need to stand up for your religion and protect your religion. Dharma is never threatened. Only belief systems are threatened.
Acharya Prashant ji is a Vedanta exegete, philosopher and social reformer, columnist and national best-selling author, and is recognized as the world's most followed spiritual leader with over 55 million subscribers on YouTube. He is alumnus of IIT Delhi and IIM Ahmedabad.
True religion is about you, which means you have to be free of your suffering. That's the only purpose of religion. I don't know about you all, but I had tears from my eyes just given the kind of wisdom I am receiving in the middle of these two figures.
The essence of Hinduism, it was revived by Krishna, Buddha and Shankara. Maybe people like him will revive it again.
Thank you to all of you for being here this late evening, spending your time with us. Dr. Ambedkar, the chief architect of our constitution, has famously said that democracy in India is only a top dressing on a soil that is essentially undemocratic. Recently, a US organization called Pew Research did a survey in India, in many countries, and they found that in India, majority of the people believe that an authoritarian government would be more preferable. And that proportion was the highest in India among all the countries that they surveyed. So while our constitution gives us a democracy, and that democracy has certain values aligned with it, the values of liberty, equality, fraternity, justice. The question is that are those values aligned with our societal values? Many researchers feel that democracy in India is only superficial, because at the heart of it, we are a very religious society. Then if you look at the number of religious places of worship in India, that is far greater than the number of schools, hospitals, health centers in the country. And that they use as a kind of argument to say that that is why you don't have democratic culture, but you have the dominance of religion and culture in India. The question is, are these actually in conflict with each other? Is democracy and the constitution in conflict with our religion and our culture? That is the question that we have for us today. And we have two of the best people to enlighten us on this issue. Is there alignment possible between culture, democracy, and religion? Or are they perennially in conflict with each other? Maybe Acharya Prashant can start. First of all, many thanks to Dr. Shastri for being here. And let me tell you first thing that
He was my teacher at IIM Ahmedabad. So it's a very unique privilege, and obviously the discussion is on a very sensitive and very important topic. And I feel honored I'll be sharing the stage with him and this conversation will happen. But beyond the content of the conversation, just the context of the conversation is personally meaningful to me. And I wanted to share that with you. And yeah, now I'll come to the content part. See, at the heart of the problem statement are Indian religion and culture incompatible with the democratic values enshrined in the Constitution. At the heart of this problem lies the very definition of religion and culture. If we do not venture into religion deeply, then we will confuse religion for what we see it as practiced. We'll think that this is what religion actually is. Very basically speaking, culture means behavior. Culture means how you are choosing to operate in your day-to-day setup. Your eating habits, the way you greet each other, the way you walk, the way you relate each other, your values, your beliefs, all that is culture. Now, culture doesn't necessarily have to do with the essence of religion. And when you talk of religion here, you're referring to the Hindu religion, right? That's what in the question. And the Hindu religion itself can be divided into two, and it must be. The religion of the Shruti, which is the religion of Vedanta, Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, and the religion of the Smriti, which forms the basis of popular culture. The religion of the Smriti, and Smriti refers to all your Dharma Shastras, Puranas, and the Itihas, Granth, Mahakavya, even Shad Darshan, all this come under Smriti. So the culture that you see practiced is largely based on Smriti, not Shruti. But when you say religion, you conflate these two into one, as if these two are one. No, they are not one. They are not one. So the entire problem is because our culture is based on something that is not really central or essential to the Hindu religion or Sanatan Dharma, whichever way you please. Our culture is based on the very periphery of religion, things that got added later on. Smriti itself was supposed to be a commentary on Shruti. Something that would enable the masses to connect to the core of religion. Our culture is related to Smriti largely, not to Shruti. And that's the reason why culture, as we see, is seen in conflict with Constitution, because Constitution, as I see it, is founded more on the Shruti. Even though the framers of the Constitution and Dr. Ambedkar, as you mentioned him, would not say that, or probably would not look at the Constitution from that angle. But if I look at the preamble, if I look at the fundamental rights, if I look at the directive principles, if I look at the fundamental duties, what I see is Vedanta, which is Shruti. So the Constitution is already based on Shruti. Let me set the equation right in brief now. The Constitution, in some sense, is already based on religion, the core of religion, which is Shruti. But culture is based on Smriti. So that's why we find this perceived, this is not perceived, it is an actual conflict. It is an actual conflict. So our Constitution is already something that resonates very, very closely with Vedanta from where I look at it. Though our culture is not something that resonates with Vedanta. And hence, we find this conflict between culture and constitution. Sir, please.
Thank you. I will just start with a minor point. The American Constitution was drafted in the 18th century. And it had all those grand statements for the people, by the people, etc. Actually, it was for the white males, by the white males, and for the white, because the blacks couldn't vote and the women could not vote. Now, you could have asked this question, that is the American Constitution in line with the culture? So in every country, there are cultural practices. Some of them need to change. Some of them may not be in line with the Constitution. So for me, yeah, I mean, that's all right. I just want to say one or two things. I'll just read out some important phrases from the preamble. I don't want to get into too much detail, but this is very inspiring for me, so I will read it out. It says, justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation, etc., etc. This is the preamble, and it's very nice to see in ringing tones, we the people of India having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. We may quibble with one or two words there. Now, what does it do? There are two aspects to our culture. One is the deepest culture, the essential culture, and that is the Shruti. Now, what does the Shruti say? So, if we have to go to the Upanishad, the Mahavakya say all the same thing. They say, Amritasya Putra, you are the children of immortality. Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, I am Atma Brahma. It's saying that the divine principle, whether we believe it or not, I'm just saying, it is there in each and everyone sitting in the room. It is in the dogs and cats roaming around. It is everywhere. It's everywhere. Kan kan mein. Therefore, if that is true, what is the first derivative of those grand statements of the Mahavakyas? It is equality and fraternity. In one of the principal Upanishads, Yajnavalkya tells Maitreyi that the husband is dear not for the sake of the husband, but because of the sake of the Atman. The wife is dear to the husband not for the sake of the wife, but because of the sake of the Atman. The son, the daughter, the father, the mother, because everybody is dear to us because of that. That is automatically in line with fraternity, justice, liberty, equality. I don't see any problem with that. And just for the record, while Dr. Ambedkar, one of India's great persons of modern India, he had problems with Hinduism and the culture, but he had never any problem with the Upanishads. He didn't have any problem with the Upanishads. So one thing is that, sir, coming back to your question, that I will just take one more minute and stop. If you look at Indian history, because you're talking about the culture, we are so rooted in our today's life. These challenges to our culture or the religion, at least 4 times, this is the 4th time. The first time it happened was when the ritualistic thing over-dominated. And the first person to put it down was in the Bhagavad Gita by Krishna. You go 500 years later, another great man called him, his name was Gautam Buddha. He found that again this ritualism had taken place. He again tried to put it down. The 3rd time it happened, now he has become bastion of orthodoxy, was Adi Shankaracharya. Buddhism was in decline and the priests were back in action with the Vedic rituals. So he again wanted to negate. In fact, Adi Shankara was a heretic and he was bitterly criticized by the Pandits of that time because they were saying, yeah, don't waste your time in all these Vedic rituals. Now this is happening all over again today. So this will happen in the course of history. Things will go up and down. But the essence of Hinduism, it was revived by Krishna, it was revived by Buddha, according to me, Advaita. Vivekananda says that Gautam Buddha revived true Advaita and Shankara, and maybe people like him will revive it again. So I would not worry too much about that there is a fundamental difference, but the point is correct that today, as the culture is practiced, there is a problem and we need to correct it. But the intellectual or spiritual basis for correcting it is already there. It's not something we have to rediscover, and we cannot throw the baby out with the bath water and say ki religion is bad, isko bha. It will never go. Religion will not go from this country. We have to go back to the purer forms of religion.
Thank you. So, just trying to, as a student of these two professors and gurus, I'm trying to summarize what I've learned. The basic point that I guess you're trying to make is that there is no conflict between at least Hinduism and the constitution. The values and the essence of both is the same. There may be a conflict between culture and constitution, but there's also a conflict between culture and religion. Because culture, as you said, has emerged from Smriti, which is not the true essential form of Hinduism.
So what you are seeing as a conflict between culture and constitution is in fact a conflict between culture and actual religion. Culture and actual religion. So if constitutional values are being seen as threatened, maybe a way to defend them is to revive actual religion. The more the actual religion is revived, the more we'll see that our own constitution is already in harmony with the real religious values. Otherwise, we'll say, no, we don't want this constitution, or there will be all kinds of conflicts and problems.
Wonderful. This is a new way of thinking. Thank you.